said he would wait for us at the 5 Kasim Plaza today. Let's go find him there.
Ah, you're here. It appears everyone has arrived. Last night, I visited a former servant who once worked for my family. I was able to learn in my great-grandfather's generation, the Ishin art was tasked with forging an important Goshinto according to an ancient forging, though all the craftsmen involved were very experienced. The process was still unsuccessful. Every blade that was forged, when the deadline came, the blade still wasn't finished. So the craftsmen, the Kaedahara clan and Yashiro Commission then conducted an investigation. My great-grandfather and the head of the Kamisato clan eventually tracked down the craftsmen. However, they met fierce resistance from the craftsmen, and in the end the Kaedahara clan was severely punished for the swordsmiths that had escaped, and the family gradually fell into... Moreover, I heard that the head of the Kamisato clan was injured by the fleeing swordsmiths.
Yes. The sudden passing of the family head left the Kamisato clan leaderless. Treacherous people took advantage of the situation and put the family's status in the Yashiro Commission at jeopardy. This single incident had profound effects. Even after the position as head of the clan was passed to my father. But, thanks to my brother, everything is getting better.
The failure to forge the blade was ultimately attributed to a lack of required skill and finesse. The Kaedahara clan and the Yashiro Commission always believed. However, the story of the 5 Kasen seems to imply that the failure didn't... Miss Kamisato, I heard yesterday that the Yashiro Commission has still kept the diagram. Might I ask you to do...
Yes, I understand. I will go back and search for the diagram. Everyone, I've managed to find the old diagram.
Though the diagram is well preserved, you can still tell that it's...
Whoa, that's pretty old. Is it still possible to find any evidence of tampering?
At this point, we can only try our luck and see how we fare.
Although the effect is not too obvious, you can still see that some words have now started to smudge. Kazuha, this is clear evidence that this chart was indeed tampered with. Someone
I see. But I fear that I've discovered this secret too late. When my grandfather was young, he proposed reviving the Ishin art many times to my great-grandfather. Yesterday, the former family servant said that my great-grandfather even went to the Yashiro Commission to request that diagram from the head of the Kamisato clan. He then showed that diagram to my grandfather and asked him and his subordinates to... Sure enough, my grandfather also failed. My great-grandfather then told him, "If you can't find the..." My grandfather left Inazuma in a rage after hearing those words. He didn't ever see my great-grandfather again. Even till the day... Looking back at it now, the argument between the two of them was simply...
Oh, God.
I heard that your great-grandfather was very industrious when he was young. But later in life, he no longer...
Kazuha, did your great-grandfather really say, "If you can't find the secret within"? Did he use those exact...
Yes. The servant said that he personally heard those words. And my grandfather was so angry at the time that he smashed my great-grandfather's cherished bonds.
Yes, it appears that you understand my meaning. Kazuha, if your great-grandfather thought that the Ishin art lacked finesse, then after witnessing his son's failure, wouldn't he have... But instead he said, "If you can't find the secret within." Don't you find that a little strange?
Huh? So you're saying my great-grandfather may have very well known that the failure was due to someone?
Yes. The current evidence suggests...
I apologize, but would you all please accompany me to the Tenryou? After I became a wanted criminal, the Tenryou Commission seized my family's last remaining estate, which contained all of my family. I want to inquire about the whereabouts of those belongings. If I can...
All right, let's get moving.
What are you all doing here? Did something happen on Rito?
Kujo Sara. Perhaps you still
Yes, I do. You're Kaedehara Kazuha, a wanted criminal during the
Sarah, we'd like to ask about the Kaidahara clan's property that was seized by the Tenryou Commission.
Yes, the items seized at that time are currently stored in the warehouse next to the police station.
No, I'm afraid you misunderstand. I'm not here to reclaim those belongings.
I see. All right, I'll inform the...
Thank you, Sarah.
Kaedehara, about the
That's all in the past now, Kujo Sara. There's no need to mention it again. I know you've also had your own convictions, and... However, may I ask something of...
Yes? What is it?
Currently, I have no plans to stay in Inazuma. As a result, Madam Kujo, I believe you are a person of integrity. After our investigation is over, I'd like to ask if you can handle those belongings.
All right, I understand.
You must be here to investigate the Kaedehara clan's belongings. Well, Madame Kujo's already informed me of the situation. The Kaedehara clan's belongings are stored in this warehouse. Unfortunately, the items are scattered throughout in order to save space. My deepest apologies. However, I have clearly marked the corresponding items, so they shouldn't be too difficult to find. I'll be waiting for you at the door. Please, come see me if you require any assistance.
Kazuha, since the items are scattered throughout the building...
Yes, sounds like a plan.
Oh, it's you. I'm currently investigating the sword rack.
Oh, since the Kaedehara clan was a family of renowned swordsmiths, then this blade...
I'm afraid not. Although the sword rack is made of fine wood, the swords placed here appear to be quite ordinary. Due to the dire financial situation of the the blade on the sword hasn't been sharpened, but there are many signs of use on the hilt. Perhaps Kaedehara used it for training.
Let Paimon see! Oh, there seems to be a couple uneven characters etched into the scabbard. Kazuha. Wow, so it really was Kazuha's! Paimon can imagine what Kazuha was like as a kid.
I will continue investigating here and call you if I find anything interesting.
Oh, it's you. Unfortunate.
Whoa, this folding screen...
Yes, perhaps if it were better maintained, then it could fetch a decent price. However, I was taking a closer look just now and noticed a large piece of dirt caught in the fabric fibers. The soil is deeply embedded into the cloth. That means a great deal of force was used when the dirt was lodged into the cloth. It's likely that this patch of dirt is from the... Because this is not what we're... Let me think. If I wanted to leave a message behind...
Albedo seems to be thinking pretty hard. With...
There must be some around here somewhere. Do you see all these pots here? Some of them are bound to have liquor inside.
Hey! Everyone else is trying hard to help, and you're over here...
I merely jest, of course. Come on.
Well, Paimon doesn't really get why Kazuha told Sara. What if we don't end up finding anything today? Then wouldn't Kazuha lose the chance of finding...
I know you are worried about Kazuha, but if you ask me, since Kazuha made such a request to Sara, that indicates he's already made his choice. Whether we find out the truth or not today, or whatever it turns out to be, he's... No, not intuition. Rather, I've lived for a long time now. Leave the things here to me. You two can look...
What did you find, Shinjo?
I found quite the pile of old... These books here are all related to smelting steel. And these are about the process of forging blade.
The book's about plants and flowers.
I skimmed through them just now, but I didn't find anything particularly worth...
Everyone, I've found something that you should all have a look at.
Oh, seems Kazuha discovered something. Let's go see what he's got.
This flower pot was in my house for a long time. I heard that it was left...
Yeah, the plants seem to have been dead.
Well, after my great-grandfather stopped studying the forging arts, he picked up the hobby of keeping bonsai plants. But he specifically left behind this dead plant at the time. and even instructed my grandfather. My grandfather deeply regretted that he never managed to reconcile with my great-grandfather, so he left the plant. But now that I think about it, my great-grandfather could very...
Now that you mention it...
Yes. Let's take a close...
We finally found something! Do you think someone already discovered...
No, I do not think that is the case here. See the paper? It's quite yellowed, which means it's very...
You mean to say that these sheets have been written with special ink? Like that which Miss Kamisato...
Yes, I agree with this
Okay, let's give...
There is a pond outside the police station. I'll...
Well, how did it go? Those weren't just...
Just as everyone guessed, after I sprinkled some water onto the paper, writing did indeed begin to...
Oh? What does the letter say?
It is. I'll tell you what my great-grandfather knew at the time. Everyone, please...
Kaedehara, why did you lead us to this beach?
It is. In fact, my great-grandfather and the head of the Kamisato clan tracked... Our hypothesis was correct. My great-grandfather was well aware of the truth behind the defective blades. And it was right here. It reads, "To whoever reads this letter, I, Kaedehara Yoshinori, have been held to a certain secret throughout my entire life. I don't have much longer. All those years ago, when I was pursuing the swordsmiths alongside Commissioner Kamisato of the Yashiro Commission, I was not injured by one of the fleeing smiths.
It was night, and after the clues led us down to shore, I waited for the culprits to show themselves. This stranger claimed to be the one behind the failed forgings, and said that he had been patiently waiting for us. That person was of able body, and in a blink of an eye, myself and the accompanying samurai had been defeated. Commissioner Kamisato was severely wounded, and I barely escaped death myself. My hat had fortunately The unusual stranger could have easily claimed my life at that moment. But, after noticing my appearance, I answered that it was my father's surname, and after my father disappeared, upon hearing my answer, the stranger paused. After a long silence, he suddenly said, "Tell her this. My name is Kunikuzushi." He then turned and left.
Wow. So that's...
Yes. My great-grandfather and the head of the Kamisato clan escaped from death and learned that However, due to the encounter, the head of the Kamisato clan was worried that my great-grandfather would be falsely accused of being involved with the perpetrator. So even on his deathbed, the master of the because the perpetrator said he would destroy the Raiden Gokaden. My great-grandfather worried that the perpetrator would still return for vengeance. He said, "As the leader of the Kaedehara clan, I am deeply ashamed to witness the decline of the Ishin art. But as a father, yes, that's right. If my grandpa had somehow discovered the secret, unfortunately, he failed to catch Miss Kamisato. It appears you were unaware of the happening."
I suppose the reason the head of the Kamisato house never spoke if the perpetrator was capable of tampering with even the Shogun's diagrams. I will discuss this matter with Brother shortly and investigate the identity behind the one called Kuniku.
To be honest, as I read the letter, I felt much turbulence in my great-grandfather said in the letter that he did not wish his descendants to blindly seek revenge. Though he was in a tight situation when he wrote these words, I think what's most important for each person is not the past, but the present. Even though therefore, knowing the truth behind what happened is enough for me. That being said, if the enemy from all those years ago is still lurking and plotting to stir up more trouble, then these are simply insights. Thank you all for accompanying.
Great! Now that we're done here, let's... Today is the final stage of the Iridori Festival. Not only will there be Shincho's signing event, but Albedo's painting of Kuranushi will also be unveiled. Let's take a stroll through the festival.
Hello, traveler.
Albedo, why is the portrait of Kuranushi all covered up? Paimon wants to see what your Kuranushi...
Don't worry. The unveiling ceremony will be starting. I will say that I'm most satisfied with this particular work. I even made a special trip to see someone in order to complete it. They gave me some very valuable suggestions. Is that so? Anyway.
Greetings, traveler. Paimon.
Oh, Ayato! We finally get to see the busiest person of all.
Yes, there were many things which required my attention these past few... Fortunately, the Iridori Festival is proceeding smoothly. The Tri-Commission cooperated
Brother and I are very grateful for your help.
Toma sure is taking his sweet time.
Yes. Today is one of the rare occasions when Brother isn't busy. I was going to buy some books, but he said he wanted to come along.
Paimon didn't think Ayato could ever...
Brother always works diligently, and it's rare for him to ever put his duties to the side and relax. So, Toma and I really cherish such moments.
Traveler, Paimon, it's a pleasure to see you. Indeed it did. Thanks to you, the signing event went off without a hitch.
Shincho, is it just Paimon, or are you...
You aren't mistaken. Though I'm ashamed to admit it. But in fact, I have been on the... After all, I came to Inazuma under the pretext of evaluating a potential investment. If an acquaintance were to see me sitting here, fortunately, The crowds of readers that came flocking over have kept the usual tourists at bay. Oh, I should mention, Shu is also unaware of the real purpose of my trip. If you happen to meet him, please, remember to... Then, please accept my thanks in advance. I'll see you later at the unveiling Well, hello.
Hey! What are you two doing together? Don't think we didn't see you two chatting up a storm just now.
Is that so? I'm afraid you're...
We were merely discussing wine and food.
Speaking of good sides with sake, I personally...
Forget it. Kazuha, what are you doing?
I came here to take in the sea breeze. Such a bustling atmosphere. Thank you. But please, don't worry. The things I said in front... Look. See this familiar harbor in front of us? Before, you could sit here all day without seeing a single ship pass through. But now, it's become a... Not only are foreigners coming to Inazuma again, but traffic between here...
Yeah. Inazuma has already started to change, huh?
I was thinking, in some ways, each and every one of us, it might take a different amount of time for different people, and when they finally let go.
It's time for the portrait's unveiling ceremony. Let's head over to the Five Kasen Plaza.
Everyone, welcome to the magnificent... Today, we have ushered in the final... And now we will reveal the final portrait of the Five Kasen. Kuranushi, which was done by...
Paimon has no idea what Albedo's portrait...
Let's all count down together. 3, 2, 1... Huh? What's... I suppose Calx must have forgotten. Let's hear some words from...
Hello, everyone. First, I would like to say that it was an honor to be in... The Five Kasen are legendary figures from ancient Inazuma, famous for their works of poetry. As I learned from existing sources about those stories that the character of Moreover, Kuranushi lacks a dedicated chapter among the stories. It's as if he is a behind-the-scenes role of the... Perhaps we can assume that every creator had a different understanding of Kuranushi. So, after all, the Iridori Festival is a place for every...
Yep, that's Albedo for ya. His super logical explanation is sure to win everyone's approval. Well, it seems that our adventures at the Iridori Festival have come to a close. Huh? Oh, right! We still haven't figured out... Really? Come on then, who is it? Tell Paimon! Well, that makes sense. Otherwise, there'd be no way to give the right paper to the right person. Right. Even though they were using stories to hint us toward Shincho's troubles, the real goal was to lead us to solve the sacred... Paimon, let's go! We'll...